Breaking news first at 4. Comedian Bill Cosby is now a free man. We'll tell you why Pennsylvania's highest court tossed Cosby's conviction for sexual assault.
Karen, we are seeing some improvements already, but the big payoff is coming over the holiday weekend and some big changes as we head towards the 4th. Paula?
A new way to bridge the digital divide with senior citizens this time. We've got the scoop on who's going to have computers at their fingertips real soon.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew, and we do have breaking news here first at 4. Comedian Bill Cosby has just been released from prison. Now, you've probably heard about the blockbuster decision from Pennsylvania's Supreme Court overturning Cosby's sexual assault conviction. Now, we just got this video into the newsroom of Cosby arriving at his home in Pennsylvania. The court's decision was quickly forwarded to the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections for Cosby's immediate release. It all happened very quickly. Kimberly Gill, following the latest, joins us now to run through why Cosby is a free man this afternoon. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. The court's decision is sending shockwaves across the country. It is a huge legal victory for the comedian who was once known as America's dad until, of course, sexual assault claims ruined his image and eventually sent him to prison. Now, back in 2018, Cosby was convicted of drugging and violating Andrea Constan in his Philadelphia home. That was back in 2004. It was a watershed moment, if you remember, in the Me Too era. Well, today, Pennsylvania's highest court ruled that Cosby was denied protection against self-incrimination. A former district attorney declined to press charges against Cosby years ago, which allowed the comedian to give a deposition in a civil case. Well, that deposition was later used against Cosby in the criminal case filed by a different prosecutor, and the Supreme Court says that violated Cosby's rights. So Bill Cosby is now 83 years old and has served more than 2 years of a 3 to 10 year sentence. The Supreme Court said he cannot be retried on the same charges. So Karen, we are gathering plenty of reaction. We'll have more when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. And of course, we'll have continuing coverage here and on clickondetroit.com. More breaking news. Former U.S. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld has died. In a statement, his family says he passed surrounded by family in New Mexico. In his time as Pentagon chief, Rumsfeld oversaw the initial response to the 9/11 terror attacks and was known as the controversial architect of the Iraq War. He had a storied career under 4 presidents, nearly a quarter century in corporate America. Rumsfeld was 88 years old. State Representative Jewel Jones is headed to trial on drunk driving charges. The Democrat faced a judge today in connection with a crash on I-96 in Livingston County back in April. He faces several charges, including resisting and obstructing police, reckless driving, and drunk driving. His attorney says police were out of line, using excessive force during the arrest last April. In court today, the judge ruled the dash cam video from the arrest was enough to move the case forward.
I think the whole show was the video. I think the video speaks for itself. That's the old saying, the picture's worth 1,000 words. There was at least 5 occasions where he requested Mr. Jones' license and/or registration or some type of identification, and the responses on that ranged from, I can't do that, bro, and at the end, I don't give a about your instruction. I think with that, it's clear that resisting instruction took place.
Jones faces a minimum of 2 years in prison if convicted on the resisting and obstructing charges. We'll have more from inside the courtroom when you join us at 5. Charges have been dropped against a Detroit teacher in the drowning death of a Mumford High School student. Judge Kenneth King ruled there was not enough evidence to try Kareem Sigler on an involuntary manslaughter charge. Prosecutors say Sigler was in another room when 15-year-old Deshaun Blanding drowned in February of 2020. King says Detroit Public Schools Community District was reckless when placing Sigler in charge of more than 30 kids in a swim class. Warren police have made an arrest in a hit-and-run crash that killed a 5-year-old boy. That happened last night on Van Dyke between 9 and 10 Mile. Investigators say the driver tried to beat a red light when he hit the child and kept going. Officers say they found his car at a Taco Bell on Van Dyke near 16 Mile in Sterling Heights. They say the 22-year-old driver admitted to being in an accident and was taken into custody. We'll be following those charges to come. From a political scandal to a happily ever after, Detroit's Mayor Mike Duggan confirms he's now engaged to Wayne State University Dr. Sonia Hassan. You may remember Dr. Hassan led a nonprofit that received city support, leading to questions about preferential treatment. After a 2-year investigation, the mayor and his staff were cleared of wrongdoing. We're told the mayor and the doctor are planning a small ceremony in the fall. He's currently running for a 3rd term. Threat of rain still hanging around today, especially in certain areas, but I think we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, Ben, and I guess we all would appreciate that.
Yes, the light and eventually the drier air too, but first things first, these showers out there, nothing compared to what we've seen in the last few days. This is relatively light stuff. Don't even see any lightning strikes, but you can see with this cell, that outflow boundary, that cold air rushing out ahead of it, that's provided some additional lift. So we may see a few more of these showers start to pop here in southern Macomb County as we head through the rest of the afternoon. But there's a lot of spots that are not seeing rain, and that's going to be the case at least through the rest of tonight. The chances of rain start diminishing, although they're not going to be completely gone until Friday. There are big changes to discuss with the holiday weekend forecast, especially as we head towards the 4th. So if you've got outdoor plans, you'll want to hang around for that. And the humidity, even though it dips, it is coming back. And we'll tell you how long it's going to set up shop for the second time in just a few minutes. Karen?
All right. Thank you, Ben. To mask up or not to mask up, that is a COVID question that's lingering as different experts offer opinions on safety. You'll hear from the CDC director in a second. But first, Michigan is reporting 195 new cases today, also reporting 4 additional deaths. Right now, face masks are no longer required in Michigan, but the World Health Organization recently suggested even vaccinated people should keep wearing masks and social distance to protect against new variants. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky points out the WHO offers guidelines for the entire world where overall vaccination rates are still low. She adds we all need to monitor vaccination rates and case numbers where we live and consider individual health needs.
If you have an immunocompromising condition, if you might have had a transplant and you're vaccinated, everybody should consider their own situation if they would feel more comfortable wearing a mask.
The director points out the vaccines in the U.S. do offer protection from the COVID variants currently circulating, including the Delta variant. New at 5, Dr. McGeorge diving deeper into this debate over when masks are still useful and why differences in local vaccination rates are also a factor to consider. 4 more bodies have been found in the rubble of that collapsed condo in Florida. The death toll now sits at 16 people this afternoon. More than 140 people are still unaccounted for. Rescuers were able to build a ramp for a crane to reach areas at the top of the rubble they haven't been able to access before. In addition to the 4 bodies, crews also found other human remains. The state of Florida is now asking for more federal help with the possibility of severe weather coming in the next few days. Most of us know an elder loved one or two who might struggle to figure out all those computers and internet access situations. But if COVID has taught us anything, it is that access to digital devices and the internet are not luxuries, but necessities. Paula Tutman joins us with a new program aimed at bridging the senior citizen digital divide. Paula.
Hey, Karen, you know, this is going to be really sunny news to quite a few Detroit senior citizens who previously have had to find their way to a community center or even borrow their children or even their grandchildren's devices and get advice on how to access that great big world outside of their doors called the digital world. When COVID shut down the world, seniors without access to computers or the internet were often left in the dark.
Being able to connect with them when we could not physically connect was a huge and tremendous barrier.
Gone are the days when a senior not knowing how to navigate the world through computers is charming or even safe, particularly when trying to deliver vital services during a pandemic.
We really can't see what's going on. It's kind of hard to make those assessments and things of that nature.
Comcast is working with 5 different nonprofits in the city of Detroit to bridge that divide. Detroit Area Agency on Aging, Detroit Housing Commission, Focus Hope, Matrix Human Services, and the St. Patrick's Senior Center to identify 500 seniors, put computers in their homes at their fingertips.
We are providing training training that is geared specifically to helping seniors. And what we're hoping to do with this initiative, and Detroit is one of only 3 cities that Comcast is launching this program, is really to understand how to get through to seniors, what works for them, and then share our key learnings and best practices across the country so that we can help bridge the digital divide nationwide among this important population.
Detroit Area on Aging will actually receive 50 of the Chromebooks and has seen the power of putting computers in the homes of seniors and teaching them how to use them with other programs, and they have seen how it transforms lives.
One of the ladies, literally, I just wanted to share this story. She literally shed tears when I was able to give her that Chromebook, talking about now she would be able to actually see her grandkids, what she hadn't seen in months and months and months. With this donation of 50 Chromebooks, we're continuing to move that needle and to help provide those seniors with access to the outside world.
Yeah, okay, so computers, check, training, check, but what about internet service? They've got that covered as well with that basic $9.99 service, which is a lot of money if you are on a fixed income. That will be free for the first 6 months, and then after that, there are actual federal programs, Karen, that will allow these seniors to actually get even more internet access and upgrade their services, and they'll be able to be reimbursed for that as well.
Great news. It was so needed. Thank you, Paula. Later, in trending stories, some creepy technology habits uncovered. A new report revealing what younger people are doing in the name of love. Also, new evidence phone scams are costing Americans billions of dollars. Plus, we do have a reminder about the one thing you should never do if you get a suspicious call. But first, think this canine cop used his nose to help rescue a 6-year-old girl. A disturbing investigation that ended with a big hug for this special dog.